Congress acted yesterday to make Juneteenth a national holiday, commemorating the day in 1865 when Union troops entered Texas to inform slaves they had been freed for 2.5 years earlier by the Emancipation Proclamation. We asked Brian Moynihan about the day and how it fits into the larger questions the company has over diversity, equity, and inclusion.
We already observe it, and I think it's a national holiday, so everybody will observe it. I think, but step back more broadly and think about what we're talking about, which is we looked at society, and after George Floyd's killing and the moves made, and we said we've got to do more to help along three core dimensions to make sure that the diversity inclusion in our company is really strong, top to bottom. That is earned wage opportunities work for a great company called Bank of America. The second is to then figure out how we can help in the areas of lending and capital formation outside our company. The third is how we operate and use our purchase power and things to help. So if you think about one, we measure diversity inclusion top to bottom, getting to representation in the United States of Hispanic, Black, Asian, equal to population, every level. That's what we're going on. We make progress every year. We're better than most. We keep working on it. That means people are going to earn a lot of money and have careers here. Hired 10,000 people from low and moderate income neighborhoods over the last 5 years to work on a branch with a career path that they can go forward. When you think about it in terms of our spending, 20%, 30% of our spending going to women and minority entrepreneurs in our spending power. That creates a market right there. The third thing then is how do you help? And that's where we've actually gotten our eyes open outside our company. And we've made 90 investments in private equity funds across the country that are run by Black women and Hispanic and Native American entrepreneurs that are going to invest in companies of the same ethnicity. And that means the equity is going to where it goes. And our view is that's one of the holes that was in American society. To help create entrepreneurs, we worked with Morehouse and Spelman to create an entrepreneurship center with a Black Executive Alliance in Atlanta. So you have to think through all the different ways this works. And then on employment, we're working with 110 Alliance. We work with the CLC, a group in Charlotte that I chair. These are all groups that are trying to say, create more opportunity for individuals and also help make sure people get into companies with career paths before they sort of get in a position that they're going from job to job. That's by giving them the right skills and hiring from jobs to skills to training, as opposed to the classic mode, which is training to skills to jobs. In other words, what jobs do we have? How do we fill them in that community? And can we aim where we hire from to increase our diversity, but increase career path diversity, and that's an important thing.
And Brian, all of that I take as being a tangible recognition of the fact that we have a lot to make up for as a practical matter. A lot of people through our history have been deprived of opportunities that others have had. It's going to take us a time to really remedy that. And Bank of America, as far as I can tell, is putting your money where your mouth is on that. Let me raise one thing that's become sort of a cause for some people, and that is racial audits, which has really been pressed with a lot of the banks. I talked with one of your counterparts at Wells Fargo who'd resisted it. I know that there was an initiative for Bank of America that was voted down. What's the deal with racial audits? I mean, why are they important? Why are they not important? How does it figure into the larger perspective here?
Well, we're looking at all that. We had a resolution, and our shareholders spoke, and we do great things, and we are supported by our shareholders because we do great things. But the question really is looking hard at all your policies and procedures and how you hire, where you hire, the way your diversity inclusion networks work, everything to make sure that the impact that your company is having doesn't have an impact you don't want it to have. And it's just really, so equal pay for equal work, we for the last 15, 20 years have had outside people come in and look at bonus time to make sure the 90,000 people get paid incentives at the end of the year, that you can't not see any difference by who they are as long as they're in the same job and the same performance level. We check that down to the last person by third parties. And so that effective is one of the themes that people want you to work on. We already do it. So a lot of this we do, but the question is, so we keep studying to what do people want you to do, and can we do it? And it's something that we actually control the outcome on. And so that's what we're focused on. We're looking at studying it. We're talking to, we have a group called the NCAC, which is a group of major people across all the nonprofit advocacy groups that we've had for many, many years and meet with multiple times a year, provide great guidance to us, and whether it's Urban League or whether it's Unidos or all these different organizations that come and talk to us about our products, our services, and how we approach, and trying to get that idea. But the theme is, are you doing all you can do? And we have to strive to do that. And that's what we're working on. And I think the key is to recognize there's also a difference in this, which is this courageous conversations question. We made a contribution to the Smithsonian, Lonnie Bunch and the group there to help drive a courageous conversation platform for them that we had operating inside our company, because the teammates came forward and said, why can't people have the kinds of conversations we have at work about the realities of being, of a specific ethnicity in America today, in case we have black or Hispanic or a woman or a person with a disability. Why can't they have these conversations about what they mean? So we did that to help have those conversations outside our company. Meanwhile, we've been having a lot of conversations inside the company, led by Tom Montag and many others, that are just wonderful to get people thinking about it from not their standpoint, but the other person's standpoint, and that's very important too.
Brian, this is such an important point, not just for Bank of America, but for every company that I talk to, for that matter, every organization I talk to right now, how you have those somewhat difficult conversations sometimes, because there's sensitivities all over the place, and it's easy to offend people. How do you measure whether you at Bank of America are making progress on that spectrum? Because that is really important, but really hard and hard to measure.
Well, it's interesting. 15 years ago, or more probably now, I was the head of the Global Diversity and Inclusion Council before I was CEO, and we had this question. Everybody talks about diversity. That's your representation statistics. That you can measure relatively easy. But the question of inclusion, how do I feel when I work at the company? Can I come to the company and be all I want to be? So we started trying to measure inclusion. We went out and looked at outside the company and said, who has metrics to measure inclusion? And we had to define inclusion. And so we started down the definition, and everyone wanted to hire a bunch of consultants and stuff. I said, let's just ask our teammates what they want. And so we went out, and a young woman came forward and said, I want to be able to come to work and not have to leave myself at the door and pick it up on the way home and be successful. That's a great definition. So we've been using that definition to say, come to work, be yourself, and you can be all you want to be in this company based on your motivations, your talents, but you don't have to leave, you don't have to park who you are and how you got here at the door. That is critically important, and we measure that every year through our surveys, which 90+% of teammates fill out, and they give us on specific questions. Feel free to speak my mind without fear of negative consequences. Think about 15, 20 years of data on that question. The question about, I feel supported, as a person at Bank of America, despite my background or whoever I am. Can I be successful despite it? Those kinds of questions we ask over and over and over again. And by the way, we get verbatims under it. And that's key, is to measure that, to make sure you're not missing something. And then we can look at it all levels of the company, all different groups down to any group bigger than 10. And that kind of measurement gives us insight as, are we making progress?